I'm looking at this last thing, and you're saying Ludens fans?
Oh, well, that's part of Death Stranding.
That's part of Death Stranding?
Yeah.
All right, then. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Game Club.
Yes.
Each week, we play a video game. We play a chapter or a segment or a timed interval of that video game, and then we talk about it live on stream. And this is a Game Club, which means you can play along with us and contribute your experiences to the podcast.
Yes.
You can join us live on twitch.tv/StreamVoidPod or on one of our other platforms. Or if you don't have time to make it live, you can leave your experiences down below. There is a link to the Purple Room Studios Discord where we are recording this lovely podcast. And there will be a forum post in there about the game where you can share your experience.
Yeah, what he said.
Get in there and do it.
Yeah.
And of course, now we are playing Death Stranding. This is episode 2 of Death Stranding.
Yes.
You are playing the director's cut on PlayStation 5.
Yes.
I am playing not the director's cut on Epic. And we played up to and including the 10th delivery.
Yeah, which was it was basically the wind farm.
Yeah.
The wind farm era of Death Stranding.
Yes, the worst era of Death Stranding.
You think so?
I hate going to that wind farm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain.
It's because it's like you got to go down into a canyon and there's all the BTs and then you got to come back up.
Coming back up though is a little easier.
Yes.
Especially when someone built a bridge for me.
So when I first started playing it, it was like when it first came out. Maybe I wasn't online.
Oh, maybe.
Because there was like nothing when I went through that area.
Well, when you go down, there will be nothing because you don't have it on the chiral network yet.
Even coming back.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Okay.
But I guess, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't playing. Maybe I was playing in a hotel. I'm not hooked up to the internet.
Yeah, maybe.
That could have been a thing. And that was back when, we were first playing it on PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a possibility. Or else just the ones that you hooked up to only place ladders and climbing whatever the fucks they call it.
Could be. But yeah, when we were doing the wind farm thing, there was someone who had built a bridge for both of us over the BT area. So coming back was like super easy.
The BTs aren't even there.
Oh, they're not even there when you're coming back. No. Oh, okay.
No, they're not even there when you come back. But going there and coming back, if you do it in the future, will be easier that way anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they're there anyways. I would have thought it still would have had the BB would have been going off, pointing downwards a bit, and it's not like the bridge is that high. Like I think it would have been like you were at eye level with the BTs rather than below them,
Yeah, for sure.
But the idea was we're going to continue heading west in America in this compressed map because we're already like a third of the way across America.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, and playing it again, I'm like, oh my God, we're like a third of the way across America.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had previously done orders 4 and 5, which was the smart drug delivery. And meeting, of course, your mother, who Sam has conveniently forgot about. But I gotta get introduced. And it's that whole part is just, it's so awkward.
Yeah. So,
and I'm trying to understand why he wrote it like that. And I'm just like, maybe he's got
partially translation, I think.
Yeah. And I think it's just, he's got, family issues. Like he left the family a while ago to be on his own.
Well, it's not so much he forgot his mom. It's like he forgot that his mom's president. But I thought it was more like, again, the game is telling you, the player, through Sam.
Yeah.
They don't want to spoil the twist because Sam knows my mom's president. So they have to be like, what does she want to deal with me? Like, ugh.
When I was watching the scene and going through it, I was really trying to rationalize that he didn't actually know. And I just couldn't come to the conclusion.
So one in the mosh was watching me play it and I was saying that. And he said, maybe he's like, maybe he doesn't know that his mom's president. I was like, well, how would he not know? Right.
It all depends on how long he left the company for.
But I mean, he's obviously in the company. This game opens with him doing a delivery in his gear.
Yeah, right. So that doesn't make any sense. But also there is a little bit of storyline where he was not in the company for a while and then is brought back in.
Well, obviously he has something he doesn't want to deal with them or whatever. He's just like it seems like he's just a bit of a like wimpy wiener boy. Frank is trying to get in from outside.
He's trying to get in from outside.
But he's like just acting like a petulant child. Like, I don't want it. No, forget it. America's done. Get out of here, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
It's not 100%. A phase.
100%. It's just a real awkward thing for him to be just like a like teenager like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It just feels weird.
Yeah. So I think it's partially poor writing and then partially translation, that it's just sort of like, Kojima has a lot of interesting ideas.
Yes.
But like the sort of way they're delivered is not always the best. And also the thing too is like, he's at the level where no one can say no.
Yeah.
Or say like, hey, maybe you should do it this way. He'll just be like, no, this is the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at like his thing that he had at the, was it the Game Awards? No, what was it at? The State of Play, where he had his 10-minute Death Stranding 2 video.
Yeah.
Where it's like any other company would be like, we got to edit it down. It's got to be 3 minutes. We don't need a 10-minute long video here. But because it's Kojima, he edited it together.
Yeah.
It's his thing. That's what it happens, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, he's got a lot of interesting stuff going on for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes the delivery is just a little whatever.
Yeah. So of course, your mother dies and you take her to be incinerated. And this is the first time you run into BTs.
Well, that we've seen in the game.
Yeah, that we've seen in the game.
We've seen them before. Like at we could see them at the very start.
Yes.
Of when he's in the cave with Fragile. Because they show them floating in the distance very vaguely. But this is the first real time where we sort of see them.
We get to interact with them in a not cutscene kind of manner.
Yes.
Because we have to like walk back through
the
BT filled area after we have, incinerated our mother.
Yes.
And of course, we had a little extra package to bring, and that was, of course, our bridge baby.
Yeah.
Who is way past his prime, apparently.
Yeah.
And malfunctioning.
Yeah.
So, and it's weird because that's all, well, you go through the BT area, it's pretty easy. You just, cover your mouth.
You don't have to really do that.
No, you don't even really need to do that. But it's weird because you get back with your BB, with the bridge baby, and what's his face is like, oh, this BB was malfunctioned. You had to like incinerate it. We can't do anything for it. And then he's just like, oh, we calibrated it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, well, and then like he's up there at the incinerator and you can see the BTs are coming for him. He's just like, I got an idea. And it's like hook it up to himself, like, anyways, it's just a little weird, but, another thing that was said on the Discord is a side to this. When he's talking to Hartman there, one of the things on the Discord you said is like, oh, I went to the wind farm and his name's Jake Wind. Like, oh God, and it's like, okay, well, the names are sort of like what their jobs are, much like Chandler or Shoemaker or, whatever. But then I was like, oh yeah, like Hartman, he's the sort of medical doctor guy.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Die Hardman, who's like sort of more the military guy.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what the scientist guy's name is, but his name is something like that too. Like the little dorky guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name either. And it's like, oh yeah, the names are kind of like their position almost,
Yeah. So I keep the Discord open so I can kind of make notes of things that I found interesting.
Oh,
in the thing, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And there was one point where, you get the BB for the second time. I can't remember if it's the second time or whatever, but there's a little like little cutscene and the BB has connected with you and he blows a little heart bubble.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, I never noticed that the first time.
Yeah. We finally have seen his BB's dad, I guess. We don't know, which is played by Mads Mikkelsen. Again, we have no idea what's going on with any of the this. What's going on in the story? Like who the fuck knows?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah. It's like, okay, who are the characters we've seen? Fragile. We've got Sam, Hartman, Die Hardman, the other nerd scientist.
Yep.
We've got Mads Mikkelsen, BB. We've got the president. And then we've got the president's daughter,
Amelia,
who's also Sam's sister.
Yep.
But it's like the president and the president's daughter are the same woman because they're both what's her name?
Played by the same actress.
Except they face scanned the old version because she's that old.
Yep.
But then they just took old photos of her as young and recreated her as a young lady. But the voice of the young version is a voice of another woman.
Yeah.
And the old version was the voice of the real actress. So it's just like, oh my God, what's going on here? There's just so much weird shit going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like every time something happens in the game, it's like, Die Hardman here. Yeah. I got to tell you about some other bullshit.
I know. I'm just like,
everything.
Shut up.
Everything.
I don't care, man.
They got to contact you about every little thing.
Everything. Like every time you make a delivery, you're talking to the people who made the delivery to you, and all of a sudden, oh, Die Hardman here.
Yeah. Hey, and then Hartman slides in too, and it's just like, holy fuck. The other thing too, like, again, it's just sort of like poor storytelling because he's sometimes weird about it. Like, I found a chip or whatever, a memory chip.
Yeah, yeah.
And he turned it in. I found one for the Seven Samurai. And it's like, do you want to deliver it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then Die Hardman pops up. He's like, wow, I don't know what to say. This is for me. Thank you so much. I'm like, for you? I didn't get this for you. Like, what are you talking about?
Right?
And then I did the same thing with I found the God of War soundtrack and I delivered it. And the dorky guy is like, wow, I don't know what to say, Sam. You got this for me? Thanks so much. And I'm like, I didn't get it for you.
I just delivered it.
I just found it on the ground, buddy.
Yeah.
I didn't know you would be such a fan of it. So
yeah, it's weird.
So weird. They introduced a few more things in this section.
Yep.
So we have to we're supposed to go deliver to the wind farm eventually, but we have to go via
there's a distribution center. The West Distribution Center.
So we get there and he is like, we need the chiral printer, but it got stolen by mules, which are other humans that are wieners.
Yeah. And when you walk up to this distribution center, you're like, oh my God, there's a motorbike sitting there. I could use this motorbike. You walk up to it. It's like, no batteries.
No battery. So we need to get the chiral printer because then we can use the chiral printer to make what are they called? PT? I think a little kit for building things. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, it's a PT or something.
It's like a printer, and you can use that to build things, which we did use one earlier because that's another thing. When you went to the other, was it Port Knot City? We start over here. We go to this other city.
There's another, like a West Port Knot distribution something. I can't remember.
So you go there and there's quests to take on. And one of the quests is you have to build a post box thing.
Yeah.
And this game is like, we're still sort of in the tutorial section. So rather than having us go build this like post office box on the way to the next destination, you have to go back towards where you came from. I just was like, oh my God, why would you do it like this?
Inefficiencies.
Yeah. Like we're still in the tutorial zone more or less.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you making it so complicated for us?
All right. That is the way station west of Capital Knot City.
Okay.
And Port Knot City is the one that we're going to go to the next time we play.
So anyways, on the way. So sometimes the game will be like, here's a new thing. We have to pause the game. Someone has to contact you, tell you all about it, blah, blah, blah. And then other times it'll just be a pop-up on the screen that if you're not really reading, you won't see what it does.
Yeah.
Because as I'm going up to the mules, I'm like, oh, I know I can tie these guys up, but they didn't give me any tutorial on how to tie these guys up. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
And then I'm walking up and I'm paying attention to the surrounding. I'm like, oh, there's a note in the bottom right telling me, oh, if you want to tie them up, you got to equip the strand, hold LT, and then when you get near them, you press triangle or whatever, and you'll tie them up or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I almost missed it. And it's not small either. The pop-up is like pretty big.
Yes.
But I'm looking at like where I got to walk and all this shit, right? So I was like, okay, I can tie these fools up.
I didn't tie anybody up.
No?
I just went through.
And did you punch them or what?
No, I just snuck up, opened the mailbox, grabbed the kit, and got out.
And then left? You didn't get anything else?
No, I didn't bother.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, well, I did take some missed deliveries out of there, but I didn't take anything else because I'm like, I hate being over 100 kilos and just huffing it back. I'm like, no, give me speed. I don't want to be walking this entire distance inefficiently.
I tied them all up, left them to die, and then I took everything they had.
Yeah.
Because when you tie them up, it'll be like whatever's on their shoulder like pops off onto the ground. So I got like some ladders and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were complaining you had too many ladders.
I did. All of a sudden, I had like 4 ladders on me. Anyways, I took all this stuff and I delivered it all.
Very good.
But I tied them all up. Did you get I think there was a memory chip in there.
I know that memory chip was in the tunnel way up the thing. I didn't.
Oh, you must have went in a different way to get in there, because I went through the tunnel on the way in, and on the way out I went the same way.
I went through the tunnel on the way in, and on the way out I went outside.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think it matters that you didn't get it, but
I don't think
that
so
was
either.
the God of the War soundtrack, I think.
Oh yeah.
So then we get the chiral printer. Now we can collect chiral crystals. Another thing I was told by one in the mosh when I was streaming it is that for every 1,000 centigrams of chiral crystals you carry, your weight goes down by 1 kilogram.
Oh.
So he carries around 25,000 centigrams.
Holy.
And his weight limit is it's like he carries 25 kilograms less.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Time to slurp those bad boys up.
It's, if you read the little note about the crystals, it sort of implies that, because it'll say like, oh, or maybe it's not even the note. Maybe it's when the nerd guy calls you.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, these crystals are weird. Like, it's like they travel through time and they reverse gravity and they don't weigh enough and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, he sort of implies like, hey, maybe it does something. But
yeah. These damn cryptic things.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because then you discover it. It's almost like the schoolyard discovery of back in the day where it'd be like, I went to Minus World in Super Mario Bros, bro. It's like a secret. Did you know that Mew's underneath the truck? So
there's just so much dialogue that doesn't matter in the game that I just kind of like, I tune it out kind of. Just like, it just doesn't really matter.
Reminds
but
me
then like there's stuff that does matter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, frig, I missed that.
Yeah. It reminds me a bit of in Yakuza as well, because they do that where they'll have conversations and it'll be like, oh, this conversation is about 15 lines too long.
Yeah.
Like you could have cut out half of the replies back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
Which is the same as in this one. Because I'll be just like, oh God, shut up. And then it unlocks like the emails with the data, so then you can read all these emails guys are writing you,
and there is stuff in there that you can do for the people, and
they'll give you likes if you read their email and stuff like that. But then there's also like the encyclopedia where every time you do a quest it'll be like, oh, we've unlocked a new encyclopedia about Egyptians mythology about death, and it's like I guess that must have something to do with the story of the Death Stranding, but do I want to read it? I don't know. Anyways, part of this is we have to take a thing to the wind farm so they can get power going to all the other people on the chiral network, because again, another thing they say is that they can transmit energy through the beach at 0 loss.
Yes.
So you can get it to anywhere you want that's on the chiral network with 0 loss of energy.
It's all the chiralium in the atmosphere.
It's something for sure.
So that the beach, all that black sand, that must just be all chiralium.
Yeah, maybe.
So I was speculating. It's like, that's just all it must be all magnetite, but is magnetite just chiralium?
But isn't
what the hell?
Chiralium golden? Because when you deliver the chiralium to the thing,
the chiralium crystals are golden.
So that's again one of the things is like it doesn't really tell you sometimes what you're supposed to do. So I got to a point where it was like, I know I can take a quest, but it's not letting me take it, and it was because I hadn't delivered chiralium to the thing. So it's like you can deliver chiralium. You can choose how much you deliver. So I delivered 1 centigram because I wanted to keep as much as I can because of So I deliver it, and the guy's like, "Oh, you delivered 1 centigram. Thanks, I guess. Maybe next time you'll give us a bit more."
I know. I just delivered him everything I had. Here's like 200 centigrams.
Yeah,
or is it chiralium grams?
Oh, maybe. Well, at first I thought it was cubic centigrams or some
cubic grams.
I don't know what I thought it was.
I would imagine it's centigrams.
Yeah, once Mosh said that, he's like, I think it's centigrams. I'm like, yeah, I think you're probably right. Because he had said something where it was like he said something like 100 somethings equals 1 kilogram. Mm-hmm. And then I did the math and I was like, no, it's not exactly right. But then I think I had it wrong. So anyways, we get the wind farm on, and then coming down from the wind farm, there was some deliveries for action figures I found to go to Ludens Fan.
Oh.
And I'm assuming you didn't go to Ludens Fan.
No.
So
I've been like Ludens fan. I've got the map up in front of me so I can see the names. And like you go past that place several times. So I didn't even know it was there.
If you look on the map next time you play, you'll see on the chiral network, there's like black squares you haven't filled in yet.
Yeah.
So if you go up to Ludens fan, that's not what the place is called. The guy is a Ludens fan.
Yeah.
Because you're delivering these Ludens action figures to him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go there, they get added to the chiral network.
Yeah.
Because it's a place and you can scan your thing, right? But I'm up there and I'm like, the guy's like, oh, I really like the Ludens. Thanks for this. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley's the Ludens fan. Because I knew that he was in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of people that they scanned. Because eventually we're going to see Conan O'Brien in the game.
Yes.
And it's like, oh yeah, Jeff Keighley's in this game. So yeah, he's the Ludens fan. But I delivered the Ludens up to him. I took the bike all the way there,
of course.
Too. So the bike is like a game changer.
Oh yeah.
I charged it up and it was just like, so I wanted to get to the Ludens fan. And there's another like mule base that I didn't do where you're supposed to recover some stolen documents from mules. But I was like, I'm driving up to the Ludens fan and I'm like, I'm going to end up going through this mule base and they spot me coming and they're all trying to shoot me. But I just fucking burnt through there on the bike and I'm like, can I hit these guys? And I just drove the one guy over and he went flying. I'm like, oh, I can hit them. Cool. But then I have like, I'm carrying like 120 kilograms of shit on my back.
Oh yeah.
I just drive all the way up to the other place,
beautiful.
Deliver it. I drive all the way back to Port Knot City and stop. And that's where I stopped playing.
I am so glad that you got that bike this early. I was like, the first time I was playing, I'm like, oh my God, this is bullshit. Just having to walk everywhere. This isn't going to be fun. But because we're being forced to play through a little bit more, as soon as you get that bike, it's like, oh, game changer.
So coming up shortly, have you ever played beyond this part?
No, I've only done the wind farm and that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't spoil it then. But anyways, part of the thing we've been told now is that they're like, Hartman's like, oh yeah, your blood did do something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but yeah. When you come back to Port Knot City, we're going to give you a prototype.
Yep. I'm actually there because I did a bunch of deliveries back to Capital Knot City.
Okay. I'm there too, but I haven't, picked up the...
Yeah, I haven't picked up the main story quest. So when I got there, I was like, it's like delivery 14. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to go back and get delivery 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah. So we're going to have to... You're going to be trying out your new grenade. So
yeah, I was watching you because I didn't try out grenade 0.0.
Yeah.
But I watched you try grenade 0.0 and it didn't do anything.
Well, I'm thinking it maybe distracted the BT so it couldn't find me as easy, which is okay, fine. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell because there was BTs everywhere. So it wasn't like it, seemed to do anything.
Yeah.
But the next grenade will be different. Oh yeah, I've played up until the next city.
Yeah. Port Knot City.
Port Knot City. No, it's not Port Knot City, is it? What's the first city called? I thought that was Port Knot City.
Capital.
Oh, Capital Knot City.
Capital Knot City.
Right, okay. Yeah, I've played up until Port Knot City.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I've been in the game, basically. So, though I am wondering, like, Sam can't die. I wonder if you can ever get a game over by just causing void outs everywhere. Because when I played it last time, I did cause a void out.
Yeah.
And it just put a giant crater in the map of where I died.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if it can do anything like that, but
yeah, maybe.
It was pretty crazy when I came to and I was just like, oh shit.
We'll have to do a void out %.
All void out run.
All void out run. Just void out the entire map.
Yeah, the graphics are still, the game looks so good. Even going through the wind on the way to the wind valley, I was like, man, it looks so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The skin textures and the plastic-ness of everything still bothers me.
Yeah.
And some of the animations are just not good still.
Yeah.
Like, I posted a picture of
Die Hardman or
Hardman just crouching down.
Well, it's
just
probably,
like popping a half squat. I'm like,
probably because they've mocapped it with a regularly sized man.
Yeah, and it looks so not.
They should have had like a fat man doing his motion capture
because they wouldn't have squatted down. Like they there's no reason for him to squat down there.
No.
It's like they're squatting down like he's, a teenager on the ground having a tantrum, but it just looks bizarre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's another chiral network location that is in here that we haven't gotten either.
Yeah, I saw it on the map.
Yeah. So I might do that. We'll see. I don't know how far we're going to play.
I would imagine we will play the rest of this episode.
Amelie.
Yeah, Amelie. So we'll do orders 11 through 17.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you don't have to do all the orders. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's only the golden orders. Excuse me, sorry. The ones that have like the golden strand behind them that are like story-based have to do ones. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, yeah. Just do orders 11 to 17.
I mean, I know what happens in the next section, so I don't know. I could say play to this part, but then it's like a spoiler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could still say it. Play like up to which order, because you could go through the order deliveries.
Well, it's not an order, but I would say like maybe play until after a boss battle.
That's that doesn't really spoil anything.
Yeah.
So because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
Yeah. No, you have no clue. Oh, since we did
literally none.
I guess that was the first episode. Never mind. I'm not going to bring it up. We already talked about it probably. I was just going to say you can see Kojima in the game.
Oh, yeah.
When he's one of the BT guys pulling them into the ground at the start. You'll see a guy wearing like Wayfarer sunglasses coming out of the goop. That's Kojima.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm liking it. Hopefully the story gets a little less ham-fisted.
Yes.
I don't think so.
There are so many hams on so many fists, and they're just feeding it to you.
Exactly.
The entire time.
Exactly. We'll see anyways.
Yes, we will see. And that's going to be the end of this episode. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. And just let us know how we're doing. If you want to play along in the Game Club, you can join us live on twitch.tv/StreamVoidPod, or join us in the Purple Room Studios Discord, link down below.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you want to support this podcast, patreon.com/StreamVoidPod.
Yeah.
The only way to support this podcast with your hard-earned
$1, bitch. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Aggressive.
Sorry.
And with that being said, we will see you guys again in 1 week's time.
Bye.
Bye.